जयपुर वाया कोटा
कृपया ध्यान आपको अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत
लखनऊ जंक्शन
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವರೆ
Hyderabad Superfast Express পরবর্তী স্টেশন নেতাজি ভবন कृपया ध्यान दियो
The Dharamshala peak has been scaled. RCB fans, the dream still lives on, 4 on the trot, and the dream continues for RCB. Virat Kohli led this 241 runs that Bengaluru put on. He got 92, and in return, the bowlers did the job for RCB. Bengaluru win by 60 runs. We're back at Cricbuzz Live. I'm Saiyami. I have Lisa and Polly with me. Lisa, Polly, the RCB fans are going to be screaming and shouting from the top of their roofs because the dream carries on for them.
Yeah, you could almost hear every time a kind of a wicket fell in that second innings, you could hear the crowd, the noise coming from all of the homes in Bengaluru that are cheering them on because they still believe. They still believe that there's a chance for their side to make it into the final. And they're actually playing their best cricket right now.
I think the screams would have been, well done, boys, we're still alive. And then after that, it would have been, but what were you doing in the first 6 games? Because, this team looks good, It looks like they're settled. It looks like you got your big players who are performing well. You can't kind of visualize that. What were they? 1 win from first 6 or 7 or 8 games? It just doesn't make any sense when you've got that firepower and those abilities and those international stars. But anyway, as you say, the dream's still alive. They can't do much about what's gone before. And as long as they keep winning and hope for a few certain results to go their way, they never know.
Well, someone who's not going to be screaming in happiness are the Punjab fans because they crash out after today's loss. We've seen what Punjab has been capable of doing in this tournament. They've even gone like 262, but what went wrong today? Because we know that they can chase stuff down, we know what their middle order can do, but they just couldn't get things going, could they?
No, it's been probably the tale of their season is that there's only been a couple of guys within a game that tends to fire. When they all fire, yes, they look very impressive, and obviously they can chase down totals as well if Johnny Bairstow is getting 100. But the fact that, 11 to 15, even though they were going at 10 runs and over, they kept losing wickets. You've got to have some partnerships to be able to put some pressure on. But I also go back to the fact that Punjab, Rajasthan Royals, there's a few sides that have a second home venue.
Yeah.
So just when they've conquered one and they're playing some good cricket, then they up and leave and they've got to get used to another surface. So 2 games up in Dharamshala hasn't worked for them.
But also the progression you spoke about, we were on the comm box and they were pretty head-to-head with RCB. They were 4 runs behind in the 10-over point, and it was at 11 to 15 where they just got 50 runs and lost 4 wickets. That's where the game turned, do you think?
Yeah, I think there hasn't just been enough consistency individually and as a team unit. Whenever someone kind of puts in a bit of a performance, there's not really anyone else to back it up. And even their victories that they've had have been at the performance of, for example, you mentioned a Bairstow, he gets 100, they win, or someone has an unbelievable game and they win. But there hasn't been a good team effort put together. And, we didn't want to say too much before it, but in all honesty, they didn't deserve to be qualifying or anywhere near to qualification the way they've played this season. It hasn't been good. Their big players haven't stood up. They've been chopping and changing combinations. They've been chopping and changing batting orders, and bowlers who had to fiddle in different roles. There's just been no stability in anything that they've done, as I say, from performance to selection as well. So, unfortunately, they've got what they deserve, and it's another team eliminated.
Well, we'll have a look at the RCB's Punjab's batting card. Like you said, the overseas players didn't really step up. You were expecting Johnny Bairstow to go big. Riley Russo had a good game. Unfortunately, got hit on the throat and then he was just uncomfortable, got out the next ball. And then one would expect Livingston to come in and step up on such an occasion. We know he likes playing at Dharamshala. He's gotten that 94 here. But again, he got out in the duck. Then Captain Sam Curran, 22, couldn't really get things going. So just things didn't click for Punjab today.
Yeah, and we've spoken about and it was at the start of the show that Shashank and Ashutosh have been the ones to kind of resurrect and find the victories right at the back end. It actually hasn't been the top order. So it's been a constant theme. And I don't know if the fact that Shikhar Dhawan obviously not being there, you're almost banker, right? You know, that can steer with all of these youngsters and get them going in the right direction, or allow someone that's an X factor like a Liam Livingstone to kind of go, okay, I know this guy is rock solid. I can keep playing my natural game. So it just didn't seem like they were gelling well in that top order, and the results would probably show that.
I think the surprise for me too was the performance of the spinners. I mean, when we looked at it, we didn't really see much spin.
Yes.
Livingstone got 2 balls to grip. Chahar really struggled to get anything to be effective. And then we know the rain comes down, the hail comes down. You think, well, the ball's going to get a little bit wet. It's going to be difficult for those spinners. But I think they picked up 4 or 5 of the first 6 wickets. So that was a surprise that happened. I mean, I thought maybe the seamers might be able to dictate. There you can have a look at it there. Swapnil Singh, Sharma, Swapnil Singh. So, and a really good run out by Virat. But yeah, I mean, it surprises me that those were the guys who were as destructive, because you would think on a small ground at altitude that they'd be able to put pressure onto those bowlers and put the figures into some desperate times, but they weren't. I mean, I don't know if we can look at the bowling figures. We can have a look at what they did. But they really, both spinners had a fantastic outing.
Well, there was Sam Curran, who's kind of been a little confusing this season because he came in at, I think, 7 today. He's opened the bat. He's just shuffled himself all around. What do you all think he's trying to do? Because he's almost like wanting to take on the responsibility as the captain. He goes and opens. Then today he says, no, I'll come back down. Has he not found his slot?
Yeah, well, I guess when you're captain, you can bat wherever you want, right? But I think whilst you want flexibility with your players and you want them to bat wherever the team needs them to bat, there is some formula where players go, I kind of like this period. May not be a number in T20 cricket, may be just the amount of overs that they get or amount of balls that they face. I think he needs to figure out where he best belongs, because if he's able to bat in that position, he's going to be successful as an individual and his team's going to be successful.
Yeah, but also they picked the 3 international batters.
Yeah.
So you kind of think that hopefully they do the job, you know, and you can come in at 5 or 6 and maybe finish things off. And I think that was the thinking. We were sitting at the halftime show saying there's still Livingstone and there's still Curran to come. Yes. So that's a good scenario. They're up with the rate. And then if you get those 2 come in, they've got that experience of getting teams over the line. They should be able to do it. But Livingstone came and went as quickly as he did, and Curran couldn't do much.
Well, the RCB bowlers really troubled them. We'll have a look at the bowling card. Like Polly, you were saying, the spinners were the ones who kind of got those important early wickets, and Siraj getting 3 in today. Karan Sharma 2 and Swapnil Singh got 2. And it's
we got that advice, didn't we, in the little tweet that,
yes, that
message that came through. Listen, he needs more than 1 over. There you go, 3 overs, 2 for 28. So.
They heard that.
We just get the advice and we just send it on to Faf. You know, we just pass on the information. We aim to please you on Cricbuzz.
I think Faf and teams are sitting and watching Cricbuzz really right after the toss. I think that's what they do, and they pick up the advice, and that's what they do.
No, they watch while the game's on.
Oh.
And at the different half-time periods, and they just get messages conveyed as to what the tactics should be.
But they listened to the advice, and he got that wicket because he bowled those 2 overs today, Swapnil. It's interesting that even the last game when Chennai played here, Santner looked very good. So clearly the spinners have done well in Dharamshala, considering the ball really flies because of the altitude, but the spinners have negated that.
I mean, 2 different games in the sense one's played in the day, one's played at night. We saw the rain and the hail, so we thought it was going to skid a little bit more. It didn't necessarily have. Spinners, obviously, left arm finger spinners, have got good control. They've got a great radar more often than not. They don't stray from the stumps very often. But I'm happy for him. He picked up a couple of wickets, and hopefully that's good signs for him moving forward.
The other one is Lockie Ferguson. I was impressed
by him.
He bowled
very well, yeah.
I mean, for a guy who hasn't played, he's been sitting on the sides. I thought all his variations, his length, everything he did was on point. So that was quite impressive to come in and perform as well as he did.
And the knuckle ball that he bowled, it was just so good to see it come out so beautifully from his hand.
Yeah, it was. It was one of those ones where Curran looked like he picked it, But then he kind of said to himself, okay, well, wait, and then he just waited too long, and it was through him before he knew it. But yeah, those things, I mean, you practice them as much as you possibly can when you're on the side of the pitch in the warm-ups or in the nets and that, but it's a different kettle of fish trying to get it right in the middle under the pressure of match situation. And that was what I'm saying. I was impressed. He didn't look like he'd been short of a gallop. It looked like he'd been playing all along.
But we saw quite a few of the slower ones. The catch that Lomrod dropped as well. The ball was really slow. I remember us discussing, has he hit it twice, the one that Bairstow got. So we saw them using those slower balls a lot today.
Yeah, it's about kind of assessing what's happened in the first. I mean, they get an opportunity, right, to see what happens in the first innings, what works well, what doesn't work well, what lengths, what lines, what pace. And then it's about bowling to your strengths. So I think that they manage that really well. And they seem at the moment like they are a team full of confidence. There's, Virat will be Virat. He'll always be up and about. It doesn't matter what day of the week it is. He's running around with his head chopped off, and that's what we love about him. But the rest of them just start to carry themselves a little bit more. And you even saw Mohammad Siraj just kind of go, hey, I'll do the job. Just everyone calm down, relax. I'm on top of my game. So there seems to be some confidence bordering on arrogance with Bengaluru at the moment.
Also, the key is when you've got a person of the experience of Virat, when he's there for a long period of time, and he's your big experienced senior player who's captained India, who's captained ICB, and he gets a good understanding about what deliveries are effective on that surface. And when he comes off, it's not like a young guy who gets a score and gives high fives and is happy that he's performed. Virat comes out and says, okay, I got my runs, but these were the difficult balls to deal with. The slow ball here, the cutter into the surface, the Yorkers, or whatever it may be. And he goes to his bowlers because he's got that confidence and says, hey, this was hard to do this, do that. Because he's also a guy who's immensely motivated. He wants to win all the time. And the communication to Faf and whatever will be along those lines. And that's why they probably were so good at doing the variations, because the communication had come back that these are going to be the hard balls to deal with. But he was good once again, wasn't he? Good 90 and a run out. So another good day for Virat.
Well, like you said, it was another good day for Virat all round. Like Paulie said, he keeps contributing and giving those suggestions while the bowling's on. He goes and gets those fiery run-outs, and of course he got that 92, which is why he is our Omni Gel Spray performer of the day. He ensured that there was no pain for the fans at all today. When you kind of watch Virat play like this, the fans forget any kind of pain that they've had. I think the only ones who felt the pain were the Punjab bowlers.
He was really good, wasn't he? I mean, he struck it nicely. He's in good touch, and it's just carrying on. It probably feels pretty easy for him at this stage, pretty simple game plan, just watch it, and he's kind of expressed himself. He was given a few opportunities which you can't afford to do, because if you give him, then he will be inflicting pain on you as an opposition. And they unfortunately did give him in that first over, and he didn't look back after that. But probably the greatest achievement today was that run out. I mean, he was basically on the floor when he threw it, and to be able to direct hit from there, I think if you had to go to him and say, which did you enjoy more? Some of the shots you played, the 90 or the run out? I think he's going for the run out.
See, and the other thing that I noticed as well, when he got the half century, it was just a quick glove punch, a quick little wave, and it was
focus.
We've got to get the job done. There's still a lot of work. I can't put the foot off the accelerator, which could be a criticism of Patidar, the fact that he gets to those 50s and then gets out. Whereas Kohli knew that he had to stay in and that they had to post something that would blow Punjab out of the water. So I liked his determination. I mean, he's always determined to perform well. Doesn't matter what shirt he puts on, he's always giving 100%. But there was a narrow focus to be able to succeed and make sure it was a big score.
Well, for the Indian shirt that he's going to be putting on very soon, I feel the Indian fans are going to be elated with the way he's going. He's just the man for the big moments, isn't he? Because the last T20 World Cup, I don't think any Indian fan or any cricket fan can forget those 2 sixes, that 6 of Haris Rauf that he hit. So he is a man of the big moments, and getting into a World Cup with this kind of form, what else can Indian fans ask for?
Yeah, I think he's in good touch. I think he'll be enjoying the fact that he goes straight from the IPL to there because, conditions won't change massively, particularly in T20. It's normally a good surface. And, he's got that one World Cup under his belt. He got it at a really young age, and he would love nothing more than to get another one. And, I mean, he'll be quietly determined. He'll also look and think, well, how many more have I got left in me? I don't know how long he'll be playing at the World Cup stage. So he'll be dead keen. And when he's as much of a fighter and a competitor as he is, he doesn't want to just go there and have the team win the World Cup. He wants to be one of the main contributors to helping them win the World Cup. So that'll be his focus. He'll be happy where his game is at this stage, and even the way he's striking it. And I think he'll be looking forward to those first 2 games in particular.
One thing that, when he had the break from the series against England, it was a big talking point because they're big series, right, that players normally want to be part of, and he decided to take some time out of the game. I had no doubt coming in how fresh he was going to be and how hungry he would have been to kind of make sure to stamp his authority of, I'm the man still to get the job done, which kind of tells me that kind of break every now and again for some of those senior guys before some big events is actually going to be really crucial for how India go. They don't necessarily get it, do they? Because the IPL literally runs in. So it's like literally 3 months back-to-back travel. It's a huge ask for those players. But I think Virat is quite unique in the sense that he's not coming off a tough test series as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if, again, he's the man. And you said he stands up in big occasions. Tonight was a big occasion as well. Bengaluru lose, they're out, they're gone. And he's the one that goes, no, we're not done yet. We're not done. Everyone still believe. It'll be fascinating to watch how he goes from IPL straight into the T20 World Cup.
And where he bats, that might be it.
Well,
and where he bats, I wanted to ask you all, do you all see him opening with Rohit? Considering
I mean, it probably would be one of the fits. I mean, they do like the left-handed, right-handed combination. We've seen it over the years as well. He is a guy who could probably do the role of number 3 more comfortably than the other 2, to be honest. I don't think Sharma or Jaswal would be as good a fit as 3 as Kohli would. But I suppose if you had to say to him, ideally, where would you like to bat at the World Cup, he probably would want to go at the top of the order. There are some other options for them. But I suppose that'll be down to a discussion he has with Rohit, the captain, and they've got to come up with the best way forward for India. But I would, if he had to say to me at this stage how I see it going, I would see Virat at number 3.
Ooh, that's a big one.
So I think that it depends on how Jaiswal goes at the back end. Everyone's expecting him to have a huge IPL off the back of his success. The fact that India's first game is against Ireland and then Pakistan, there's not that Ireland's a warm-up game, but it's seen as a contest that they should quite easily win. And then they come up against Pakistan again. So, it depends if you want to get Sanju Samson in at number 3 as well. So if you want to get Samson in at 3, then you can have Kohli and Rohit Sharma, and Jaiswal misses out, unfortunately. So they've got some options, which is exciting for India, but also probably a bit of a headache as well.
Well, it's a good headache to have, and I feel all RCB fans and all Indian fans are just going to be very happy with the form that Virat Kohli is in. What he did today was the reason he was our Omni-Gel Spray Performer of the Day. He ensured that there was absolutely no pain for the RCB fans, and we hope that he carries on this form here on. What Punjab doesn't want to quite see is that points table. But for RCB fans, we have to see that points table because, like I said, the dream carries on. They are 10 now, and we've got team number 2 with that E next to them. Punjab has been eliminated along with Mumbai.
And the key for them is also that net run rate, plus 217. If you have a look at the bottom, the bottom 6, they're all in negatives except RCB. And if they are going to get over the line, they're going to get to 14 points, and their net run rate is definitely going to play a part. So that margin of victory was also an important one for them, that they got a big score and managed to win it by 60 runs?
60 runs, yes.
Yeah, so they're doing all they can do. I mean, it's still going to rely on other people helping them out. But for now, they're doing their bit.
But, 60 runs, it almost felt like Virat kept that in mind when he was batting today, because it looked like the batters knew they were chasing that net run rate and they were being extremely attacking from the word go.
Yeah, I think given the formula of how IPL has been going and the fact that teams batting first more often than not getting 210 plus,
yes.
That's a new benchmark. That's what you have to keep doing. I mean, he kind of chuckled his way through saying that at the innings break that he's conscious of his strike rate being up the whole way through. So, whilst he has a go at what the pundits may say or along those lines, it's subconsciously playing on his mind, and he's kind of making sure that he makes his point. So, and that's suiting Bengaluru really well. So I think they're just going to play that style of game because I think they have to against all the other teams that are around.
But Bengaluru have their chances in their own hands still. But for Punjab, they haven't qualified since 2014, and that's a major area of concern. We know how much they chop and change their team. So can we expect a whole lot of chopping and changing in the mega auction?
I would definitely think so. I mean, to be brutally honest, when you do have a look at the team lists after the auctions have gone, you often look at Punjab and you think to yourself, well, really, it's not that. I mean, your eyes light up when you see some of the other combinations. I mean, look at the batting lineup, the bowling options they've got. Punjab, you go, oh, okay, well, that kind of squad, it could be competitive, but where's your big guns coming from? You would hope in that Bairstow. Besides him, you've got Rabada and Sam Curran. But the others, Livingston, Raza, Wokes, Nathan Ellis, none of them have really hit the kind of heights that you would have hoped to. They've got some very good Indian players, and, Ashdeep Singh, he'll be in the Indian side. And they've got some young guys who contribute with the bat. But when I say look at it, I say, oh, they can put a nice side together. But do they have the wow factor? Not really. And I think that's where they're going to have to try and get things right and get their combinations right.
But Ashutosh and Shashank have been the big positive for them this season.
If you're going to look at a positive story that's come out for Punjab, that's definitely those two. And hopefully, I mean, and the whole story around Shashank Singh and, in the auction, did they actually get the right one? And, and then all of a sudden he repays the faith. There's a nice storyline there, and hopefully he has a long history with them and a successful one. But when you look at that list, they're still missing like an Indian superstar in the top order. That's probably the thing that they're missing. So they're relying quite heavily on their overseas to be able to do that. Whereas Mumbai are completely the opposite, right? They're kind of littered with Indian stars. So maybe that's something that they can try and look at and consider, because from a bowling point of view, I think they've got some good Indian bowlers. And if you can get your overseas balance right, then a Rabada's, your go-to man. But it's just that Indian star batter is what they're missing at the moment.
All right, let's hope that Ashutosh and Shashank are those star batters for them in the future. They've been very cool through this season, and we've had quite a few cool moments in today's game in the cool Dharamshala where there was a lot of hailstorm. So let's have a look at the carrier room air conditioners coolest moment of the match. When the 241 runs scored, there are quite a few cool moments, and then when they're bundled up and they win by 60 runs, there are quite a few moments. You'll have your picks.
Yeah, mine's a fielding one, because I do like the fact, when you get into
I think you've gone with your fielding quite a few times. I like that, Lisa.
Yeah,
nice.
Just because I think it's very important, and I just want to get it out there to young boys and girls. Spend time in the field. Get that right. So Virat Kohli's crossover throw in the air wasn't looking to kind of go flat and hard, so he got rid of the ball quickly. It bounced a few times, but he affected the run out because he got rid of it quickly. Nice pick up and throw.
Yeah, I'm going for the debutant cover-upper. I think his wicket, his first wicket that he got, he could have had Kohli. Yes. That would have been a massive moment for him.
That would have been, we would have been discussing a whole lot of other things. Not
would have gone back to his area where he stays and would have been the absolute champion. But he'll take Faf's wicket as well as his first one, and there's spell up front. I mean, to have to do 3 or 4 overs, 3 in the power play, 4 overs up front, I think it was the cool cool moment for me of the day for him to experience that.
Well, I feel if and when he watches this show, he will feel very good and he will go back to his village because Polly's given him a thumbs up, and as a young bowler.
Dale Steyn's his big car.
Dale Steyn is, but Polly, it's a thumbs up from you. Any fast bowler is going to be jumping and dancing. Let's have a look at the cool moments and see that what you all have written to us on Twitter and everywhere else. Offside Chuckle says, Patitar cameo is for me my coolest moment of the match. That show was an important partnership. Next up, we've got Ankit who says, King Kohli running Shashank out was something special today. This shows the King is still as quick as a bullet. Lisa agrees with Ankit there. Next up, let's see who we've got. Jai says that Bengaluru stay alive, still in playoff contention. Well,
where he lives.
The RCB fan, like I said, he's one of those screaming and shouting from the top of the terrace. But this is quite that romantic story, considering the start they've had and not getting any wins in, and then now getting 4 on the trot and staying alive.
If they do find some way to qualify and go on to win it, wow.
Great story.
That would be the biggest turnaround in sporting history, I would say.
And that would mean then that the women's side and the men's side hold the titles.
They would have all been panicking though, wouldn't they, with the rain and the hail?
Yeah.
They would have both thought they'd end up with 1 point short, and the
they're
best they
gone.
could do was 13. They would have both been eliminated. So good that we got a result.
But like you were saying, 6 games, they won just 1 game out of their 6, and now they've won 4. They've won thrice away from home. We know they don't really like playing at home too much, but just like it's all red except for the second game, and then now we start seeing the greens.
Yeah, and 2 games at home to finish. So we'll have to see how they get on there.
2 big games, right?
Yeah.
Delhi and Chennai, who are still very much in the
In
hunt.
the mix, yeah.
So is it a thumbs up or thumbs down for Bengaluru in the playoffs for you all from now?
No, I would still go thumbs down. No one's qualified.
Sorry, guys, sorry.
No one's qualified without 16 points.
It's
since
the
10
mathematician in
teams.
you
Yeah.
saying it.
So
Hasn't someone ever qualified?
No. Back in the day, if you
back in the
had if you had 14 points, but that was when the 8 teams were involved. Ever since it's been 10 teams, we haven't had anyone go through. It's only been 16
Thank you,
points.
scenarios.com.
Scenarios.com, yeah. So, but I mean, in all honesty, come on. If you win 50% of your games, should you expect to go through to the playoffs?
No.
No.
But if everyone else is rubbish,
You got to
and two are
win
great.
8. You got to win 8 and maybe lose 6. Then I'm happy for you to qualify. So I don't think they will do it, but I'm nice at the RCB, or I'm very happy for the RCB that they're still in the mix for now.
Well, it's not a thumbs up from Lisa and Polly, but the Bengaluru fans will not stop believing because they've won now 4 on the trot.
Don't stop believing.
And staying alive. That's what is happening. They're staying alive.
Staying alive, staying alive.
Staying alive.
That's for all you RCB fans. You all can be singing and celebrating. Today was a very cool day for all RCB fans. Thank you so much for writing in. These were our carrier room air conditioners coolest moment of the match. And tomorrow again, we're going to have a very cool game because every game is seeming very important, especially the last 3-4 days. Gujarat take on Chennai at Ahmedabad, match number 59. Because we could have a third team getting an E next to their name. In case Gujarat lose tomorrow, it could be the third team out.
Yeah, it's big, isn't it? You just get the feeling that mentally Chennai will be up for it. I mean, they're right in the mix. They're still thinking about winning the tournament. They've obviously got to get 2 more victories to get to those 16 points. They've got a good net run rate. And when you look at those, you do think of easy pickings. When you're in the tournament, you think, well, when do we play the guys who are ranked at the bottom? Because you kind of feel that you can dominate them and win. So this is a big game. They're on 12 points. Gujarat can't be feeling good after their last defeat that they had to Bangalore. It was a bit of a drubbing. They put under immense pressure. They haven't produced anywhere near the cricket that we've been expecting from them. So I think Chennai will be eyeing this out as, come on, we really need to make sure that in the first 3 or 4 or 5 overs, we set the tone and make Gujarat think, oh, it's going to be another defeat for us. And they romp home and take those points. So important game for Chennai and obviously a lifeline for Gujarat.
Lisa, you've spoken about this earlier, that this Chennai side doesn't seem like the Chennai side we know. They've been pretty inconsistent, 3 wins and 3 losses in their last 6 games, and a few concerns with, their bowlers not being well, flying in and out, and Ajinkya's form hasn't been the best. Do you see maybe him being replaced, Rachin coming back in tomorrow?
Yeah, if that's the case, then your balance starts to change, doesn't it, for your overseas? So Mitch Santner came in against Punjab up in Dharamshala. So if you bring in Rachin, then potentially he goes out, and if you need some overs, he could potentially bowl. Their batting hasn't quite clicked. I think tomorrow will be the day where we see if they actually are the Chennai side that we know and love, that know how to, and this is when it gets starting to get crucial, because they've only got 3 games left, and you want to build some victories before you get into the playoffs. Now, these guys have been there and been very successful, so you would expect them, if things haven't necessarily clicked, it has to click tomorrow, or should I say today?
Today.
So I get the sense that we'll find out if they can be the old Chennai side.
Yeah, I think they're also dangerous. I mean, as you say, people know that if they do get things to click, they know how to deal with playoff cricket. This isn't the first rodeo that they've ridden with regards to that, and they felt like they haven't got their combinations, they haven't maybe got their personnel in the right places, people haven't hit form. But if they do qualify all of a sudden and get it to the playoffs, then they start to think. And then you also have the fact of the second eliminators in Chennai and the finals in Chennai. So both of those are incentives. I mean, if anyone plays and if they get those surfaces to look anything like they can, I think if we also pull up the points table, why it's so vital is that they can get to 16 points. And if you have a look at Kolkata and Rajasthan are already there. Okay, so in order to keep the hope of banking on being able to have a game in Chennai. So when I say if they finish in the first 2, then even if they lose, they get to play another game in Chennai on their own home turf to try and qualify. If they don't win, if they don't get to 16 points, I mean, there's still a chance. But they want to keep that 1 and 2 possibility open as well. That's why it's such a big game for them.
Lisa, any changes you see in tomorrow's squad? Because they have been changing around quite a few.
I see you've dropped a Ajinkya, have you?
Oh, I didn't drop a Ajinkya.
You said you think he's going to...
I was asking you. What you all think.
Awkward. Look, I think something I've been shot. I think something has to change at the top, right? It just hasn't been clicking. So I think you've got to try Rachin again, because he literally played, the first 4 or 5 or 6 games, and then the last 4 they've put him to the side. So maybe it's a chance to give him one last kind of dip and see if they can get something out of him. Otherwise, I think, Tushar's been bowling really well. Patirana has been excellent. Ravindra does what he does best. And Dubé is the only other one that's, set the world on fire. And what's going on at the moment?
2 golden ducks, unfortunately. Yes.
So those 2 in the red have gone.
Oh, sorry.
Patirana and Fizz, they've both gone.
Because they've got that series.
The other thing you do get the feeling is, if I understand the way Chennai, and I've watched them over the years, whatever they actually decide to do tomorrow with a batting perspective, I think they'll keep until the end.
Yes.
I think they've given it long enough. They've kind of run. They've kind of looked for the combinations. They've looked for the personnel. But whoever they decide on, I think we'll get a feeling tomorrow. So if they go Rachin and Ravindra back, he will stay until the end. I think that's what they would do. Because there's actually no one who can argue with him. There's not one person there, whether it be Ajinkya or whether it be Mitchell, from even Moeen Ali from a batting perspective, no one can say, actually, you don't deserve to have another go. Because they've been given ample opportunities and no one said, listen, I want to nail down the spot.
I've nailed it, yeah.
So I think what you'll see tomorrow from a batting perspective is you can't chop and change. There's no ways. If you think of the championships that they've won, it's been very settled at the top of the order. So I expect whatever the decision they make tomorrow to run with for the rest of the tournament.
Well, let's have a look at Gujarat squad. You'll expect any changes in for Gujarat. Riddhiman Saha has been in, not the best form. Getting weighed in, again, that kind of, the balance of the team goes for a toss, but do you all see that changing?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I mean, would they be thinking of somehow to get Matthew Wade in to maybe do the job that Riddhiman has been doing?
So the thing is, you could get him in, but then you'd maybe lose one of your overseas bowlers because you're not dropping Rashid Khan, right? And Miller's been getting you 30 odds.
But
Threatening.
They could go the route of leaving out.
Joshua Little got 4 wickets in the last game. So.
Yeah,
He got tapped a little bit along the way.
he did. Yeah.
So it depends on the surface, right? That's the other thing. Like the other thing as well is even Noor Ahmed and Spencer Johnson. You know, the pace of what he can do against some of the Chennai guys, he can really hurry them up, Dubey and players like that. So depending on what the surface is like, they may even look at that.
I just think the top of the order is one for me. Is like Saha's not the kind of guy who's going to get you 100, is he? I mean, they've kind of given him the role of you're most effective in the first 6 overs because the field's up and you can maybe pick a few boundaries and you can get us a quick 25 or 30 or 15 balls. And that kind of worked when you had Pandya in the middle order where he could offer that firepower, but there's not enough guys firing. So when you do also look around, and I think this year has been influenced more than anything else, where your top 2 batters at these other teams are going, slam, bam, thank you, ma'am, and really sorting everyone out, they might be tempted. They've got to be tempted. And Matthew Wade is one who has done that kind of role at the top of the order before, left-handed option as well, which just mixes things up nicely. So I think there will be a temptation there.
So it's an all-important game for Gujarat. Your players to watch out for from both teams.
I'm going to go for the 2 skippers.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I want to see Rashid Khan. You know, he's been a bit low on confidence. He got bashed on the shoulder. I'm sure he'll be trying to recover from that. Loving what Noor Ahmed's doing. But I mean, I want to see Rashid back to his best. So from that side, I'm going there. And then I want to see whoever they pick at the top of the order for Chennai. I want to see if that guy can give them a bit of a lifeline and show some quality performances at the top. So I've got the feeling it might be Rachin Ravindra.
All right, we'll wait and watch. That is an all-important game, and I really enjoy my time with both of you. But it's now 12:20, and we need to come back here tomorrow. So let's quickly answer Joy Factor's
Well, actually,
question.
we've got to give you a round of applause. You got it right.
Thank you, Lisa, for bringing it up. Thank you,
Guys, I know.
Are you watching GK? Are you watching
Are you
GK?
clapping? Yeah.
So we should see the leaderboard first.
Yeah. Okay. Lisa asks for it. We get it. Oh no! Ridiculous.
Has that been updated?
I think there's some technical error here. I don't think this can be right.
That we're being told this is what it is.
What did I win for then? Like nothing's moved.
What percentage were you?
Your percentage must have gone up.
I think this is rubbish. Let's get it out. Let's just get this out.
Oh.
No, we don't want to see this because this is
someone's a bit
blocked out by
cranky.
GK.
Okay, we need to end the show. Quick,
Yeah,
do
we
the
need
Joy
to-
Factor question.
I just wouldn't mind a win. You know, I wouldn't get cranky personally.
We are rooting for you tomorrow. We really,
Yeah. I've heard it all
really
before.
are.
Joy Factor question, that was easy. I
That
got
was
two. I got 2 of them, and I can tell you what the other guy looked like. I can't remember the third guy, but
Okay, go.
easy. Well, that was Hendrik Klaasen, George Linder from
Yeah.
South Africa, and then there was a left-arm spinner who played for India. It was a relatively short chap. There you go, Shahbaz Nadeem.
Well done.
I told you it was
Applaud
easy. I
for
told you it was easy.
Well done. This is something which no one usually gets.
I'm on the app. I'm building.
Yes.
I'm on the app.
Well, apart from Polly, let's have a look at who's gotten it and who's gotten it the quickest. Giri Teja 6293 has gotten this. Well done, Giri Teja. Congratulations. You found it as easy as Polly. Well done on this. And Polly, I promise you that we are rooting for you tomorrow.
Unless she's in a good chance to win and then get another victory and go up.
No. Really hoping that you get off the mark. It's hurting us just as much. So we hope that you have a good day for that. You need to go rest because otherwise we're just going to be sitting here talking and the next game will start. So Lisa, you need to get in some good rest as well for tomorrow's big game.
Beauty sleep, is that what you're saying?
Gujarat
Okay, I
plays.
got it. Yeah.
I need to get some sleep as well because I need to come fresh to try and win, although you're priority, Paul. You really are.
She's already thrown that one in.
Can we close the show, please?
Okay, it's time for us to close the show now because we will be coming back here very soon at 7 p.m. for the big game, Gujarat taking on CSK. So do join us at 7 p.m. p.m. Good night and goodbye.
Jaipur via Kota.
कृपया ध्यान आपको अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವರೆ
Hyderabad Superfast Express পরবর্তী স্টেশন নেতাজি ভবন कृपया ध्यान दें